Although my wife and I had planned to walk together from Sarria to Santiago de Compostela to celebrate our 25th wedding anniversary, here on day 4 of our planned 5-day journey on the Camino de Santiago, my wife now had flu-like symptoms. My youngest daughter was on crutches, in pain whenever she walked, and very unhappy, and my older daughter had lost interest in the Camino. The three of them took a taxi from Arzua to Amenal, and I set off alone in the rain on this 5.5-hour walk up and down hills, through woodland and villages. Fortunately, the rain was light, and there were many tree-covered areas. Having watched many YouTube videos of other Camino journeys that encountered a variety of weather, I actually found walking in the rain to be relaxing, and it gave me a sense of what others experienced. It gave me a chance to reflect, which was something I really needed. Walking alone gives you time to notice things and to appreciate a slow pace of life, in contrast to the world I spent nearly all of my time in.
So anyway, now that so I could leave and feel. Sorry, did I ruin your picture? No. That's right from Look at the dogs.
This close to Santiago, there are many more people walking and more places to stop for a snack or a drink.
Wind, I think. I hope.
I think that we were talking too much about so much rain and Germans. I am sorry, nothing against Germans. Ciao, Mexico, suerte, buen camino.
Here is the beer garden in Calzada with its remarkable bottle display.
Oh, I always saw you together, all the days.
Yeah, my other sister, she had a bad...
It was a little later when I got hungry that I stopped here for a quick bite and enjoyed talking to other pilgrims. Then on to a forested area before I was greeted with a great surprise, a man handing out flowers to the pilgrims.
Muchas gracias.
Oh, gracias, gracias.
Cuidado que pinche un poco.
Yeah, muchas gracias.
Oh,
Wow.
they're smelling.
Soon after this, my family dropped off my oldest daughter, who walked the rest of the day with me.
To ask for the menu and then they
Came across a really odd musical monument. We didn't fully understand, but enjoyed.
But I don't know why.
We have to capture the sound too.
Viral video.
This is Arua. Hola.
We're all gone now.
The lodging that Camino Ways booked was definitely an excellent choice. This is El Molino de Peña, and it is 20 minutes by car from Amanal, so it's off the beaten path, and someone from the accommodation comes to pick you up and return you to the Camino the next day. It's a rustic inn in a former mill guarded by a couple of dogs, an old white lab, and a feisty schnauzer who's very protective but has a soft spot for the old lab. This lodging is right on the River Mira. Here you see the back of the property where there's a nice area to walk around.
A mill by the river. Isn't that He's like, what's that thing you have? I like this yellow dog.
Our dinner at this inn was very good, including honey and nuts, these croquettes with potatoes, cheese, and squid ink. The steak was very good. In the morning there was a nice setup for breakfast with cheese, meat, juice, and some pastry. All in all, it was a good place to stay. This is day 5. I set out alone again through a shaded forest to walk the end of the Camino after getting driven back to the Camino. I would meet my family in Santiago later that day. Today's journey is about 4.5 hours of walking, first up a steep hill, then down for a while, and then up a steep hill again after La Bacola, before finally a mostly downhill or flat journey to Santiago. Pilgrims have left various messages and artifacts along the Camino. This one reads, "As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." The hamlet of San Payo is 4 kilometers into today's 17-kilometer walk. San Payo was a good place to pause for a drink of water before continuing on through a forested area. I wish these happy kids could have warned me that my mood was going to be shattered in just a minute by an unexpected dog who would have bit me if I hadn't yelled at him just as he was inches from my leg. It so disrupted my peaceful feeling that it ran through my head several more times.
What do you think? I don't know, too. All right. See you later. See you later. See you later. See you later. All right. 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 See you later.
This little guy was happily protected from the neighborhood bully. Here, near Lavacola, is probably the river where pilgrims used to wash before arriving in Santiago. Here in the hamlet of San Marcos, I found a little restaurant with outdoor seating where I had a snack.
Es que lo que te iba a decir, y es el de las cadenas canciones muy blancas, sí. No, son como
This is Monte de Gozo. This is where you can see Santiago in the distance for the first time. I thought this little white sign was some sort of profound message, but later I translated it. It was just on the Camino there is no bike path. I suppose that could be profound somehow. Entering Santiago, I was surprised by the gray clouds. The forecast was no rain, and I didn't bring an umbrella or a raincoat. It proceeded to rain several times in my last hour of walking.
This is why you don't leave a baby in a hot car. That's okay. Go ahead. And it's raining again. Much harder now.
I was a little achy, but also excited to be in town. Right about here it began raining hard, and I ducked into a bakery where I stood by the door, snacking on a very good curry chicken empanada, waiting for the rain to pass. It was a real feast for the senses, the rain evaporating from my skin, the taste of the empanada, the warmth of the bakery, the customers ordering, and the excitement of the end of the journey. Here you can get a look at some of Santiago along the way towards the old town, and then past the bagpipers who welcome you to the main square and its famous church. Here's where you pass the impressive monastery of San Martino Pinario, the second largest monastery in Spain. Finally, the Cathedral of Santiago in the main square is visible, the Prazo do Obradoiro.
Oh, okay. So it's down there, and there's several hundred people in line. So they open.
What did he say? Several hundred people are in line for something? Probably to get the last stamp in their passport. I abandoned any plans for a ceremonial and entered the refuge of the Parador Reyes Catolicos, which was a wonderful surprise for our last lodging at the Camino. Originally a royal hospital more than 500 years ago, this is now probably the oldest hotel in the world. Here, I can show you around a little and you can see the bar, cloisters, our bedroom, and other public rooms and spaces. It was like staying in a castle, a wonderful distraction from the aches and stresses that had befallen our trip, not all of which I share in this video. I wandered back out to the city to get an idea of what else Santiago had to offer, so I walked in the direction beyond the main square. Here I found souvenir shops. I also found restaurants specializing in seafood and tapas, many of them with local squid and other specialties. Here's a shop specializing in homemade fragrant soaps. On our return trip, we visited the famous Sagrada Familia back in Barcelona. We were blessed to be all together, but our trip had exhausted us. Even on the day of departure, when I went for a walk in Barcelona, my heart went into atrial fibrillation, an irregular, alarming, abnormal rhythm brought on for me by stress and lack of good sleep. So was this a bad Camino? I could list a dozen wonderful moments, but I can also think of far too many disappointments and stressors. My wife and I will return to the Camino one day. It still calls to us. Do you think we had a bad Camino? Please leave your comments.